Okay, the War Within's largest patch yet will change everything about how we play World of Warcraft. We have tons of new content coming away and a whole bunch of extra features. We have brand new UI updates, brand new ways to gear quickly with new events like the Nightfall scenario, which include new renown tracks and reputations, the brand new Dastardly Duos PVE mode, horrific visions revisited and corruption enchants coming back, massive XP and reputation boost, the ability to buy your own raid gear, and so much more. Today we're going to be breaking down the War Within's first major patch in Season 2, so let's get into it. Alright, you ever log into World of Warcraft 1 to run a couple Mythic Plus keys and then you end up spending a bunch of time getting a group and then someone leaves halfway through? Yeah, it kind of gets old really fast. That's why I've been messing around actually with speedrundungeons.com. It actually lets you jump into dungeons solo or with a couple of friends and still get ranked on a legit leaderboard. There's no pressure, no randoms throwing the run, just fast, clean content on your own terms. It's actually very simple to sign up. All you got to do is get your Warcraft Logs account, set it up and link it, get a couple add-ons. Boom, you're placed on a custom ladder based on your class spec, group size, and even realm if you want, which is crazy, so you could be number 1 on your realm. Now, whether it's just yourself or up to 5 players, you're competing against other individuals doing the exact same thing, so it's your own custom ladder. So if you're looking for something new and actually fun, this is it, man. No more getting benched, no more bricking keys. Just play how you want and try to speedrun the dungeons, and you'll get ranked on your leaderboard. Super simple, super chill. And honestly, it's been really fun trying to beat those times as fast as possible with a bunch of different builds out there. Check out speedrundungeons.com if you guys are interested. I promise you won't be disappointed. Let's get back to the content. Now, if you're wondering when a patch 11.1.5 actually drops, we've pretty much gotten minor confirmations here and there about it launching April 22nd this month. Blizzard might have actually indirectly confirmed this through recent updates about guild name changes, which officially go live, you guessed it, April 22nd. This will give guild masters the opportunity to rename their guilds for 200,000 gold at any major city, and this showed up in the latest PTR build for this exact patch. So with this system officially going live on that patch, they stated it will be implemented in the game on April 22nd, basically confirming that's when the patch will go live. So mark your calendars for that day. The first thing you'll notice in this brand new patch is that Blizzard is implementing a massive reputation, XP, and rewards buff due to the new buff called the Winds of Mysterious Fortune. If you've been around during the anniversary event during the first season, this is similar to that. You'll be getting a 20% experience gain for leveling up new characters, a massive 200% reputation increase to Dragonflight reps, 100% bonus to War Within reputation upgrades, which is going to be great for getting those renown tracks going, and additionally, completing quests in Khazalgar and Dornogal will have a chance to drop a mysterious satchel which can contain a variety of rewards. Now, don't forget that increasing your reputation for the War Within factions gives you a ton of new rewards that could be used today. So if you go on an alternate character that has full level 25 renown rewards for each faction, they're going to get absolutely flooded with a ton of carved Undermine Crest, Bountiful Keys, Valor Stones, and a lot more. So it's going to be a great way to kick off some of your characters very easily heading into the new patch. Now, getting into some of the new content, WoW is getting a brand new PvE event to give you rewards called the Dastardly Duos event. The idea is that Blizzard wants this to be a repeatable mode for players this patch, where you're thrown into an arena, kill enemies as quickly as possible, while trying to boost up your score as high as you can. So then you go in, you start the event, you kill a bunch of mobs, and then you're forced to fight some bosses from previous versions of World of Warcraft, which is a lot of fun. Now, you could keep doing this all by yourself and have an AI group filled with you. For example, I did this with a duo with a lance, and we had an AI group fill the rest of the gaps, went in there, stomped everything down. Now, the event is supposed to be going for about roughly 6-ish weeks, and Blizzard is going to be updating this mode once a week to give us more quests, which can further increase the rewards, as well as have us fight different bosses to entertain ourselves with. After every time you complete an event, there seems to be a guaranteed loot drop of Veteran Bind on Warbound gear that you can give to your alternate characters, and that weekly quest can give you champion gear within the loot bag. Not only that, some of this gear that you earn from doing this event actually has some really interesting item effects, like the one you see on screen now that has a nice little tier set bonus almost. So we don't exactly know what's going to be coming out of all this. The whole idea is that you get the highest score possible during this event, and there's a variety of ways in doing that, like using the consumables that provide you to, and increase the duration of the event, killing bosses as fast as you can, killing enemies within a specified area, making the event intentionally harder on yourself, and a lot more. So at the current moment in time, there doesn't seem to be any immediate rewards for hitting high scores. It might just be one of those things you show off to your friends, but overall, it's a really fun mode for quickly queuing up and getting some easy gear for your alternate characters. Not only that, this is the first iteration of this mode being introduced in WoW, so I'm sure Blizzard would like to, expand upon something like this in the future, and maybe even bring it as a mode that consistently comes back in a 0.5 patch. Okay, moving on now to one of the biggest pieces of content coming with this patch. We have the Nightfall Event and the brand new Flames Radiance faction down in Hollowfall. You'll find the camp down in Hollowfall, and it basically is going to be your new hub for all sorts of repeatable quests to get everything going. Most of these quests revolve around pushing back the last signs of Nerubian forces trying to invade the area, so you're pretty much like the last line of defense when it comes to defending the zone. You got incursion-based quests that will send you off to defend different frontline battles. There's a big Nightfall public event where you will participate in an open-world event to complete it and fill up the percentage bar similar to any other zone-wide events, and it will throw a bunch of random tasks at you, like killing mobs, collecting crystals, taking half-dead NPCs into the healing circles, your classic chaotic event stuff. So this will all build up to where you will get to a final boss, and at the end you will defeat and wrap up the event by killing him. All of this rewards you with renown for the Flames Radiance, and the best part about this is that the reputation track is actually really short, where it's only 10 renown levels long. Honestly, I think that's kind of refreshing, making the renown track short, and it seems like they're going to be testing the waters here to see if we enjoy these shorter rep grinds to keep players more engaged for future content coming. So as you're ranking up through your renown and completing the quest, your title will evolve throughout the scenario, from being a basic recruit all the way up to a sacred Templar, which sounds really awesome if you're a paladin. One of my favorite things is that they're giving us a tab art as well that will evolve alongside us in our title progress, with a tab art that visually gets changed, which is epic. They will also give us toys, pets, mounts, all the usual collector stuff, and on top of that, there's a buff that you can unlock that gives you a chance to deal extra damage and take less damage, all in the open world zones, which will help us perform better, which is really cool as well. Now, as you level up that renown, you can even get additional items, but first let's talk about some gear, because there are two different vendors tied to this Nightfall content, and they've got some things for you. One vendor is going to be all about armor, and the sets that they're selling is simply just a white version of the Arathi-style transmog, which we've had since the start of the expansion, which looks amazing. The aesthetic here looks absolutely incredible, and it's going to be on a lot of players' list when it comes to transmog for this patch. There's also going to be a couple different trinkets thrown in there, and there's a second vendor that handles the Nightfall weapons, which come with really interesting special effects baked into them. You can also grab rings, a necklace, and even more trinkets from this vendor as well, and all of them have really cool effects, so you should definitely take a look at these, as they could be great for your alternate characters. Now, all this gear here from these vendors is champion track, so it's not like endgame best in slot or anything, but it's perfect for filling out maybe some gaps or fast tracking your ults, and it's really nice to have reliable, consistent gearing options that are different from spamming Mythic Plus all the time if you don't want to. Another cool thing is that all the daily quests you do around Nightfall, you will get bags with some extra gear inside. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the gear is just veteran track gear, so it's not top tier or anything, but it's great for catching up all those alt characters and stuff. Everything that you earn through these events is warbound until equipped, which means you could just farm it all on your main character, scoop it up, send it to your alts, which is awesome. I love the story direction they're going with this 0.5 patch so far, and I'm really hoping they continue to go this direction of having, smaller reputations that we can grind in between patches, because it definitely keeps players like me entertained. Another big piece of 11.1.5 and the content that's coming is actually Horrific Visions. Yes, Horrific Visions is making a comeback, and this version sounds way more rewarding and challenging than the BFA version. So for anyone who didn't play back then, it's a solo or group-based scenario where you dive into corrupted versions of major zones. You will have a sanity meter that constantly ticks down, and doing things like standing in bad stuff or getting hit by enemy abilities will drain that sanity meter faster. The idea is that if your sanity meter hits 0 or you die, then the run is over. But there are always ways to refill up your sanity, so it's all about, smart pathing, avoiding danger, and clearing as much as you can before the game is over. Now, for patch 11.1.5 this time around, we're also getting NPC companions with us as well. Just like Brandon Delves, this companion can heal, tank, or DPS for you, so it's super helpful if you're going in solo. Additionally, they can even revive you if you die, which alone, makes this a lot more valuable and doable while you're running completely solo. Another big win is that there's no cap on how many runs you can do. Unlike BFA, where you needed keys and can only run them a couple times a week, This time you could run them as many times as you want, so failing a run doesn't feel like the end of the world anymore, which is a really good change. As you go deeper into corruption, things ramp up, sanity drains faster, there are stronger mobs to fight, and nasty environmental effects. Each wing on the map has its own boss, and your goal is to kill as many of the 4 optional bosses as you can before taking down the main boss. Each side boss unlocks you with another war chest, so the more you clear, the more loot you will walk away with. I know it may sound easy, but don't expect to full clear everything right away. The progression here is pretty difficult, I would say, and it's definitely real. You're most likely going to be, working toward tougher runs gradually, and eventually unlocking 8 new masks, which make everything harder, but a lot more rewarding. The ultimate challenge here is to full clear a vision with all 8 masks active, so it's definitely going to separate the men from the boys here. To help with this, there's going to be a brand new talent tree tied to horrific visions, which seems pretty neat also. All these paths boost different effects, so it's going to be interesting to dive into. Unlocking all this is going to be key into getting into those deeper clears and earning better rewards. And speaking of rewards, you're also going to have a brand new currency called the Displaced Corrupted Motes, which you can use to buy everything from talents to mounts, including some old and previously unobtainable ones, transmog, weapons, and more. There are 3 different vendors selling weapons on different upgrade tracks, which include Veteran, Champion, and Hero, and the higher tier vendors unlock as you progress through the vision system, and by the end, you'll be able to grab hero level weapons directly from them. This does not include the loot from your vision run scaling up the hero tracks, so yes, there's definitely some serious gearing potential here. One more really cool thing is that they're also going to be bringing back those infamous corruption enchants from BFA, but this time they're going to be helmet enchants rather than weapon enchants. You're going to be able to collect the lesser and greater versions of these, and they'll actually be super useful even outside of visions, which is going to be great for pushing some harder Season 2 content like full clearing heroic raiding and pushing Mythic Plus as high as you can. One thing that is a bit confusing right now on the PTR is that horrific visions doesn't look like it'll be available right when the patch drops. It's currently slotted to be in around May 20th, which is 4 weeks after the patch goes live. But of course, we're going to be keeping you all updated. Honestly, I don't see this being intentional. I would think they're going to be posting it just a couple weeks after the patch goes live, but 4 weeks doesn't really seem like a good option. Something else that we should definitely be excited about are these new counterfeit dealer chips coming in 11.1.5 as well. And these are basically a free ticket to raid items and raid the loot that you can buy. Now, this is something that Blizzard mentioned not too long ago about implementing, but everyone's been waiting to see how it's going to be involved. So now we get to see them. Originally, they were supposed to be tied to the season renown track from the raid, but Blizzard cut it out last second. And instead, we're going to be getting it showing up here in 11.1.5. And the idea is that you use these dealer chips to buy any weapon, trinket, or specialty rare item you want from the raid that is a drop. There's no major RNG here, no praying for your drop. You take the coins to the vendor, select an item, purchase it, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. Now, yes, there are some super rare items, of course, to be confirmed at the vendor. And here's the kicker. Everything you buy is on a special upgrade track that lets you max it out to Mythic level 6 of 6. There's no catch here. These are simply just some of the best items in the game that you can obtain, and you can target them directly, which is awesome. Now, once again, we don't know how these chips are going to be available or how they're going to be implemented. Blizzard hasn't told us that yet, but they are going to be coming, and we will see how we will earn them. Another major highlight coming at 11.1.5 that's going under the radar is the brand new UI feature called the Cooldown Manager. And this is pretty much Blizzard starting to go to war against weak auras. They're trying to build it within their own game, within their own system, where it's very easy to track everything that's going on with your character. All you have to do is simply open the options menu, toggle it on, and when it's activated, there's a decent amount of things you can do here. You have sections for tracking your buffs, for tracking your cooldowns, another one for utility cooldowns and defensives and stuff, and there's other one for timers and durations of specific spells. Now listen, I gotta say openly and upfront, Blizzard is doing a fantastic job. This whole feature is so simple and very clean and easy to learn. The best part about it is that you can customize each section within seconds of each other. It's all very easy to move around, resize, and tweak to how you like it. I will say it doesn't have as much customization as weak auras, but man, it is a massive step in the right direction for the community, and it's so easy and trivial to learn, and it's going to help so many players out there at improving at playing their character. I know weak auras can be very intimidating, and it is very confusing at times. So this is Blizzard starting a long and painful journey that they're going to go through to make one of the best features I think they could ever add in World of Warcraft. Almost instantaneously, I'm going to be replacing some of my weak auras with these because I really love the aesthetic. I love how simple and user-friendly and customizable it is to move them around, resize. When this patch comes out, I highly recommend you check it out, refine things, and test it out to how you would like it. I think it's awesome to see Blizzard doing stuff like this. Just remember, this is going to be the worst iteration it's ever going to be in. This is trial version 1 with some time and refining. It's probably going to be miles ahead of Weak Auras in just a matter of no time, but they have a lot of things to add, like trinket procs, passives, spell effects, and stuff like that. Other than that, Blizzard's doing a very good job. Hats off to them. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, patch 11.1.5 is coming out in just a couple weeks, and honestly, it's set to change the War Within permanently. We'll of course be having a ton of class changes and updates, I'm sure, as well. Brand new PVE events and awards to obtain for all your alts, brand new experience and reputation boosts, free raid items, and an absolute ton more. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. As always, it's a pleasure making content for you all. Until the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you in the next one. Peace. One last note we wanted to make. If you're looking for a guild or people to progress through Mythic Plus with or raid with next season, the Comeback Kids are recruiting, and any and all players are welcome to come on down, play with us. We're looking to fill out some new members for the raid. Oh my god, we fucking did it. Oh my god, let's fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go. That's how that shit gets done. If you're on the Horde, you can simply just go to the guild tab and search up the Comeback Kids, and we should pop up. Make sure you do have the guild size on any so you can actually see us. Either way though, if it doesn't work, you just use the Discord link in the comment section below, hop in there and verify, get yourself in, and then we can get you invited by you posting your name and server under the guild invite tab.